All right, so I got, hang on, let me get in front of the cameras here. All right, so I got two phones going right now. The phone to my right is Facebook Live, and the phone to my left is YouTube Live. I haven't done a live video in a long time. For YouTube, I'm sorry, I have not had time to dedicate to my channel, and I do apologize. We are going to get on this, though. All right, so this is what we got here. Let me make sure everything's in view. All right, I think so. Hopefully everybody could see everything. All right, y'all are looking at pretty much the same thing here. All right, hang on. Let me see if I could do a little zoomy zoom. Zoomy zoom. A little more zoomy zoom. All right, and we'll see if we could zoomy zoom you. All right. Oops, shit. I don't want you to be looking at me. How do I reverse this? Damn it. Hang on. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see if we could zoom. All right, so what we got going on here for all y'all. All right, we have a little fatigued steel. Fatigue means it's weak, it's falling apart, it's just bad. All right, so hopefully you can see me okay-ish. So right here, I'm trying to hold the light down. Hopefully you can see right there where that steel is weak. You can see where it's spreading right there. It's doing it on both sides, but I want to get you zoomed in on this side. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a lot of handy-dandy tools I have laying around the shop and some old sheet metal. Let's zoom you back out here. And by the way, this is a 1947 Ford fire truck that belongs to a local fire department. All right, so here we are. So I'm going to explain a couple of tools. It's weird, so the Facebook Live, it looks darker, and the YouTube Live looks brighter. I don't know if it's the quality in phones. Facebook is on a Galaxy, I don't know, like a 2-year-old phone, and YouTube is on like a 4-year-old phone. And YouTube is on Wi-Fi, and Facebook is on mobile data. So hopefully, y'all are going to be doing all right. So this is one of our tools. This is what you call a metal shrinker and stretcher. Okay, this is going to be one of the tools that we need to do curve right here. Okay, up on this side. So what we're going to do, I have some sheet metal. I don't know what piece I'm going to use yet, but this is already bent into like a 90. This, I don't even know what this was for. But it was just something I had laying around. I have a huge steel scrap pile, and I'm just one of the people that save all my steel, but it works for projects like this. All right, and I got another piece, and this is the piece we're probably going to end up using because it's a little bit thicker of metal. Your regular automotive sheet metal, at least back in the day, used to be roughly like a 19 gauge, which it's kind of a weird number, but like that's what they used to build like stuff out of. Now this might be a little bit thicker than 19. This might be like 18 or 17. And it's what a lot of people don't understand with steel. Yes, this old steel is some strong shit. Not gonna lie, all right? But the problem is this newer steel, it might be a little thinner, but it's more high strength. So the crumpling power and the ripping on your newer cars, except for aluminum, because aluminum to me is just, it's an awful thing to have in a car, but aluminum's gonna rip like this a lot easier than your newer high strength steel. All right, and I love messing with steel, I absolutely love it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a piece up in this curve. It's gonna be 90-degree shape with a curve in it. And what we're going to do, we're going to punch a couple holes in here, like maybe 3 or 4 holes. I might have to get into the outside. I'm trying not to, but I may have to. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a piece to go up on the inside of this where it's kind of hidden. And we're going to weld this rip back together. And I know a couple people might be asking, like, why don't you just weld that back together, Mister, and call it a day? Well, the problem is that it already broke. All right, so we're going to weld it, and sometimes welding weakens metal. All right, so the weld will be strong, but it could weaken it on either side of that rip. So what I would rather do is put a piece of metal in behind there that is going to be wrapped on the outer edge of this hood, or on the outside that you're seeing, and then the underside that you're seeing put on the inside, if that makes any sense. So it's going to be almost like a double layer there, because this hood is flippy-floppy. Okay, and a lot of these old cars are not like the newer cars. When you go to shut a hood like this, see, like I'm shutting it, it's naturally bending. You got to kind of use both hands and pull it straight down. A lot of you car gurus remember like the square body Chevys. You know, you had to shut them hoods just right, or they kink halfway down the hood. They just bend on you. I seen one happen at, I think it was Meckham auction. It happened where they went to shut the hood on this truck that just sold for like 30 grand, and the hood literally bent. All right, but that's the problem with older sheet metal, because it tends to rip a little bit easier. It doesn't have that tensile strength that the new cars have. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, old cars are better. In their own way, at a low mile per hour collision, they are. You know, 20, 25 mile an hour and under, those cars were tanks. But if you take, and there's a video out there on YouTube, I think it was a 58 or 9 Impala and a, like an 09 Malibu, and they hit head on, or it was like an offset frontal crash, and the Malibu, the newer Malibu, held up way better than that old 59 did. So anyway, I'm getting a little bit out of hand here. So we got a shrinker stretcher. All right, I got to move 2 phones around here. We have, hang on. Now I have some ghetto stands going on here, guys. I have you both set in like these rolls of masking tape. All right, and then we have our welder. All right, so we're going to be using this welder. We're going to be using the plasma cutter right here. Okay, and we got a bunch of specialty pairs of vice grips here. We have some other stuff that I'm going to kind of introduce you to a little bit. Hammer, dolly. We got a drill there, a little sheet metal grinder. All right, we have a cutoff wheel down here by the running board somewhere. There we go. All right, so I'm going to set you up somehow, some way. So the first thing we're going to do, I think I'm going to pick this black piece of steel. So let me see if I could angle you down a little bit. And we're going to go over, actually I got to come over this way because I have a limited cord on my plasma cutter. So I'm going to have to bring my little bench over here. I'm going to move this real quick. And I've been sick as a dog like since Thursday. Like I shouldn't even be here. Like it's one of those things like you feel good one minute, the next minute you feel like you're going to die. It's like I had COVID twice since COVID's been a thing. And this to me seems like so far more drawn out. COVID, 3 days, maybe 4, you're done. Bada bing, bada boom, you're over it. This shit, this is this is bad. This is some bad stuff. All right, am I gonna have a long enough lead here? I tried to like get all my ducks in a row before I went on live video here, so I didn't look like as much of a cluster F. You all know what I mean, right? Where's the camera pointing at? Let me look at this. All right, so y'all can see what's going on here, right? I think I'm going to try not to stand in your way. So the first thing we got to do, I guess I'm going to use this black piece of metal. And hopefully you guys can see, there's already like a little bit of a 90 degree in here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plasma cutter. I got to take the grinder first. And I'm going to try to cut a halfway straight line down this piece of metal, which I only need to go like 3 or 4 inches, maybe not even. Probably, yeah, we'll probably go like 3-ish inches. So I'm going to make 2 3-inch long little pieces that we're just going to nestle really nicely up into that hood. So I'm going to grab the grinder because we have to ground our plasma cutter like you do in a welder. And I also need, so I need the ground cable. And then just when you're kind of cutting with these plasma cutters, it's nicer to be using like clean metal. So we're just going to take this, we're going to zip it a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see me. I'm going to go down the inside just a touch here. Double check, make sure everything's in view okay. I think so, ish. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're just gonna head over here to the fire truck real quick. I just gotta clean up the area that we're gonna be doing our work on. Cheaper than what most people would paint a small car for. And the plan was, they were gonna take it apart, which they did. And it was gonna be kind of one of them, fix a few little flaws in it and just paint it. Alright, and I have most of the cab, most of it, bare metal. And it all started because I was going to start, try to pound out a couple dents, and it started really in the roof. And I started pounding dents before I ground any paint on the vehicle. It just makes it a little bit easier so you can actually see, what your hammer's hitting, and you get the reflection of the lights, off the little bit of shine of the paint. So you can see really where you're at with your dent. Well, I started hitting it, and the paint just started flaking off it. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, it's going to be one of those deals where, I'm going to start trying to do body work on this thing, and I'm just going to start running into all sorts of issues. So I started taking a lot of it down to metal, not all of it, but where the main issues were, I did. The rest of it I'm feathering out. I mean, the paint is all adhered to the vehicle. It's just when it's taken you're trying to knock a dent out or beating that metal around, the paint's just bloop, coming off it. So hoping, I'm using a really good primer. I mean, the primer I'm putting on this thing is probably $500 or $600 worth that's going to be going on this thing. So it should really lock everything down really nice. But we'll see. This thing's got to be done in like a week. I paused most of my schedule. I've been doing like little jobs here and there just to keep some money flow coming in. But I paused my schedule pretty much for the rest of the month for the most part, and a little bit into next month. And I think some of that's going to have to get pushed off now. It's a pain in the ass when you're self-employed, you're a one-man band, you're your own secretary, or your own estimate writer, answering the phones, doing this work, ordering parts. I mean, it sucks. And I always tell myself, when I look at a car, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that in 2 weeks. Well, then I forget, in those 2 weeks, I'm going to lose 2 to 3 days of productivity because I'm dealing with people, dealing with the phone, trying to get parts, or a part's not showing up on time. Or there's so many variables to owning a business like this. It's crazy. And the prices, like, basically what I'm charging them to do this fire truck, it's going to be at my cost. Like, I'll probably be making like $5 or $10 an hour or something, but I don't care. It's for a local fire department, and I'm happy to be able to be in a position, not all the time, but right now, to help get back a little bit and you know, try to help these guys out, and, you know, they're going to be super happy. You know, that's what really matters. So right now we're going to plug in the plasma cutter, and we're going to cut some pieces out. So we're going to move this over a little bit. I have a little bucket of water here for two reasons. One reason is when I cut these little pieces off, I can drop them in the bucket of water and it'll cool them kind of quick, because my dumb ass, I'm not patient with things sometimes. So it's like I don't want to wait for the thing to air cool for 2 to 3 minutes to handle. Speaking of that, we'll grab a pair of pliers here. So I can grab it and dunk it in the water. I gotta grind another little corner here. And I know I'm sure some of you are making some comments and whatnot, but unfortunately right now I can't look at them. I'll look at them tomorrow or something. Alright, so I just ground this little spot here for a ground clamp. Alright, let me just see where you're at here, because I don't want y'all to... Alright. It's not very often I do a video, so I kind of want you to be able to see what's up here. Alright. And I feel like shit. So what we're going to do... Oh, let me go grab... we got to do something to make a straight edge with it. We'll grab... I'll grab something. Gotta grab something like an inch-ish wide, 3/4 of an inch. I'm coming. Be patient, man. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna freehand this shit. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, so plasma cutter. And this thing, this is a cool tool. This particular thing cost me like $3,000. This was the very first thing I bought from Snap-on, and that started my whole career of spending $30,000 or $40,000 over the past 8 or 9 years. Why is there a red light on that thing? Oh, duh, because I got the air hooked. Yeah, I was looking at this. Oh, shit. Alright. So this is what we're going to do. Hopefully I can do this on camera okay-ish. Why can we do this? We'll just do it this way. There you go, so y'all can see what's up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freehand a straight-ish line. Okay? We're going to go for a little ways down, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it. We're going to have to cut a slit in it somewhere. So, like I said, I'm going to do like 2 3-inch pieces. So, we're just going to freehand this-ish. It's a little crooked, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to be finishing all this off with a grinder anyway. So only y'all are going to see the flaw. Alright? Which that's what you guys that are watching the Hack Shop channel on YouTube, I think that's why we got so popular on YouTube a long time ago, is because I'm unfiltered. I tell you how it is. Like, I'm not going to butter coat or sugar coat anything. You guys see it raw, unedited, you know, no frills, no filters, no whatever. But that's what it's about. That's what real life's about, is about having flaws and having your goods and your bads or whatever. So y'all are gonna see like that crooked line. But like, who cares? Because this thing's gonna get bent anyway and it's gonna be hidden. Nobody's even gonna see it but you. So judge me. Go for it. Uh-oh. So we're going to go, 3-ish inches. There we go. go. That thing just fell on the floor. First piece. And there's our first piece. Little 90-degree shape piece. Nice and cooled off now. Alright. Now we're going to do our next one. Let's try 3-ish inches. It's alright. It looks like it's almost broke off. A lot of times you just grab it and wiggle it. Like that. And then it'll break off. Give her a quick little dippy dip. Alright, so there's that. Plasma cutter time over. We'll get our bench out of the way. Like I said before, I could have just welded that crease, but in 5 years, it makes me the asshole because I didn't do it right. It don't matter what you're getting paid. And you know, I never used to be like that. Like, I actually really care about everything I do. And I want things as good as possible. It's not all about the paycheck all the time. It's about having a good reputation. And back in the day, we used to booger some cars together, not gonna lie. But now it's like, I'm at the point in my life where I want things to be right. Alright, so we got our 2 little pieces here. They're not even the same length. They're close, but whatever. Alright, so what we're going to do, so this is our shrinker stretcher. And this is what I'm going to do. Alright, which way do we got to go? Because one of them's going to make the metal, go this way, and the other one's going to make the metal go that way. So I got to look at that. I'm pretty sure the black one is going to be what they call the shrinker. Alright, can y'all see here? I gotta go back over and look and make sure you can see the jaw of the shrinker. It looks like it. Alright, so we're good. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're just going to stick this L piece, alright, in here. And then we're just, there's a foot thing I'm stepping on. And then what it's doing is it's starting to put a little bit of a bend in there. Alright, and this tool at Harbor Freight, I don't know, I got it a lot of years ago. It was like, $350 or something. Alright, so we got that. So we're just going to look at this and be like, oh, is that going to fit? Because I don't know. I might have went too far. Alright, I'm just kind of feeling with my fingers back here, and it's like, oh, well, a bit too far. Alright, so then we're going to go over here to the stretcher. Now, you don't want to shrink and stretch too much because it's going to fatigue and weaken the steel. We're just going to go back a little teeny bit, and if I feel it's going to be too weak, guess what? We're doing this all over again. Alright, so that's a little bit better. Actually, I can put it on the outside just to kind of show you. Let's see where your cameras are at here so you can actually see shit. Alright, so we're going to zoom you a little bit. We're zooming to YouTube first, and then we're going to zoom to Facebook. Alright. Alright. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'll try to keep my ugly mug out of your face here. I'll give you an idea of what's going on here. Alright. We're going to go on the back side of this. And a lot of times when you shrink and stretch this steel, oh, there you go. See how it's got that little whatever in it? We could straighten a lot of that out with vice grips. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this up in here right now. We're going to use these little fancy clamp grips. These things are, I don't know, $40 a pair, something like that. A drawer full of them, but you need them when you do this kind of work. So I'm just going to do a little pre-fit here. Look at that. Clamp it in there. Well, you can't see nothing yet, but it's okay, you know. tape. Alright, so on the back side, you gotta take my word for it. It's pretty damn flush. Hang on, let me get the phones here. Oh shit, I should probably, hang on. I'm all freaking miscombobulated here. Alright. Hopefully that'll be a little better. So we're going to go over here onto the back side. I don't know if you can see up in there, but that's where our little piece is. It's fitting up there snug as a bug. Alright, in a rug. Now I can only do one at a time, but you see there's a gap there. You can see how the lip of the hood's bent down. No worries. Because this is just test fitting stuff. Alright, so we gotta take the YouTube here. Oh, I got some goop or something on my hand. Alright, there we go on the YouTube. There we go on the Facebook. Alright. So there's two ways we can go about this. We have our hammer and our dolly here. So basically what we do is we take this dolly up on the back side and kind of beat this, but because right now I have vice grips on it, I'm just going to take another pair of vice grips. Okay? You see these got kind of a wonky flat surface to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of chomp on it. I'm going to chew at it a little bit like you chew on your food. Just kind of mashing it together. Now, of course, I'm limited on what I can do because I have two pairs of vice grips jammed up in there. Alright, so we're going to take this pair of vice grips now. Like I said, you won't even see this. You wouldn't even know this was here if I didn't tell you. But what it's going to do is it's going to give this hood some rigidity for the next couple hundred times it gets closed. And it's an old vehicle, so it's going to get opened a lot. This thing, it's still going to have a little bit of sway because it is metal and metal bends, okay? But it's not going to be as wonky, flimsy. Alright, so we see where our vice grips are, and I forgot to grab a marker pen. But it's alright, because I'll remember that. Actually, I could probably just drill this. I could probably just drill it right with the vice grips in it. So what we got to do is I'm going to drill a couple holes where the metal's a little bit thicker, okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to be like spot welding. So we're going to drill a hole through the outer layer, and then when I weld it, it's going to penetrate into the inner layer. So I'm just going to start these for now. See one back there in my finger. That feels like a good spot right there. Alright, so we'll be able to see that. We'll do another one right there. Of course, this drill is speed her up a little. Out of here. I know some of y'all are probably just like bored as hell. Welcome to my life. There's that. What I'm going to go over a little bit over to the side. I think I'm going to do two first spot here. Get on the back side of it again. Gotta grab my air. I figured y'all on YouTube, you deserve this video. You've been very patient with me. I know the past, since I've been in this building, really has been hit and miss with my videos. So this place is kind of chaotic. So it's tough. Every time I think about doing a video, I'll get the camera out, and all of a sudden the doorbell goes off, or I'm needed, or somebody will walk in, or the phone's ringing. It's like, mean, never ends. That's what I'm gonna do where this crack is. We're gonna make this crack worse. I'm gonna V it out some, because otherwise I'm welding the tin foil. That thing needs to penetrate into some usable steel. You know what I mean? So what do I do with cut? So I'm actually gonna cut this hook. Out. Maybe. Stubborn bastard. Just go in there with the other grinder. There. Took care of that. Alright. Now what I do with my back curve homemade piece here. Now we're gonna stick it. Where are you guys at with the cameras? I got you zoomed up there. What do we got? Alright, yeah, you're good. Alright. We've already, for the most part, this piece is fitting in here very nicely. We're just going to reclamp it just to get the ball started here. What I'm going to have to do, because my out piece isn't it isn't as deep as this hood piece here. I'm just going to have to take a little chunk of something and we're going to put it in there for fill, because there's a gap there that's a little more than a quarter inch. going each way, almost like a little square. So what I'll do is I'll get this piece secured on the back side, and then we're just going to have to put a little bit of a filler piece in there. Actually, I might end up on my back. Well, take this hammer and knock this together. Alright, now time for the motor. So we're dealing with some fatigue thinner steel, so I'm going to put my setting on too. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now. This thing goes up to 10 for wire speed, 12 for heat. We're going to roll with like a 2-2 combo. Alright, put on our gas. I got to put on my cool handy dandy welding goggles so I don't burn my eyes. Hopefully things will work today because a couple times ago when I used these things they quit working and I got flash burn. It's part of being in this business. It happens, unfortunately. We have them turned on. Alright. So we have a clamp to ground this. There's lots of bare open steel everywhere. Set the slope down here so I can actually see these goggles a little bit. So that can work. Alright. We're just going to give her a couple little zoomies real quick. Got gas. Good. So right now what I'm doing is I'm filling the holes that I drilled, I'm filling those up with weld right now. Now it looks like my penetration is just a touch. Yeah. I really want to turn the heat up much more, but it looks like we need a notch. Yeah, it's definitely better. This one out of here, it's pretty full. It's a little too hot in that spot. grinder. Grinder. Everything on the floor. My glasses. You know, my plan tonight was I was going to try to get some stuff in primer. That was the plan. I have no clue where my glasses went. We're putting it forward. We're putting stuff on. I was going to try to get the roofing primer. Oh, there they are over there. Get the tops and extenders. Everywhere where there's body filler, I was going to put like the first coat of primer on tonight. Oh no. You know, it's like me. It's like do. Oh hey, there's a birdie. Woo! That's me. That's my girlfriend. She'll tell you. Poor thing. All right. Get on the back side of this and do a little welding now. Fortunately, I won't be able to put the cameras back here. I'm just going to kind of tack that into place a little bit. Pretty good. Flush. Piece of bud liner over this. God forbid a spark was in there. I mean, I haven't smelt any gas since this thing's been in here, but we don't need a fire truck burning up in my shop. That would suck. So this is at least deflecting the sparks away from the carburetor. You guys, yeah, you can see where it's flowing through, so you know it's getting a good penetration. I burnt through a little bit right there, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it down a notch, and then that little burn hole there, I can just fill that back up full of well. Now at least we know it's penetrating. A little bit too much here now. smoky. Alright, so now we just got to put in a little piece of filler. I'll show you what we got going on here real quick. Actually, you can kind of see it. You know, it looks a little bit right now, but don't worry, it'll get better. You guys are seeing this all in the raw. Alright? This is what a lot of guys won't show you. They just like to show you everything that's all purty. We're showing you the ugly, all of it. Alright, so we're going to have to find a little chunk of something. What I do with my cutoff wheel. What we'll do is we're just going to add a little piece right there. That's it. Just gotta find, there it is. So I actually cut a little bit off of the longer piece. So we'll zoom you out. There we go. Zoom you out. Oh shit. How the hell do you reverse this thing around? Here we go. Alright. We're just going to turn the ladder. That'll work. So we're just going to take this little piece here. This was the longer of the two pieces. Where's the water right there? We got our vice grips right there. Don't try this at home because I'm putting my yeah. Alright, I know some of you are cringing. Oh well, this is basically how people get hurt, but we don't need much. We're just taking a little piece of it. Should be able to just break this little chunk off now. We'll do a little dip in the water. Alright, putting it back at the fire truck. Actually, I cut this piece a little small, so it's going to be hard to get in there. Might have to do some dumb shit, but I'm the king of that. So put you back there, we'll put you back here. We got the Facebook right now, we're messing with zoomy. Alright, there we go. So I got this little piece. I probably cut it too small. I mean, it may backfire, it might not. We don't need much, just gotta kind of go in there to fill it. The problem is, wow, that's like perfect too. Yeah. Now we just gotta figure out how we're gonna hold it there. Because when you weld with this kind of welder, it's got, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like wire coming out of here, and that wire comes out with force. So as soon as I hit that, it's going to pop that little piece of metal up, so I'm going to have to hold it down with something. And no, we can't use the vice grips because the vice grips will hold, the vice grips are going to block us from welding. So I just got to, usually, I might be able to set one of these dollies or a piece of paper. I mean, it's not going to take much, anyway. Grab some tape here. Because as soon as this thing hits, it'll immediately weld itself. We just don't want the dolly falling down in the engine compartment of the fire truck. So we're going to take this little dolly. Set it. You know you're getting old when you gotta put your glasses on, take your glasses off, glasses on, glasses off. Alright. So what we're gonna do is something like that. You know, just hold it there and tap, tap. Alright. It's hard to wear these welding goggles with my glasses, because my glasses are, I mean, they do work, but not worth a shit. Alright. These on. Let her play under here. I do like these goggles, though. These were probably also like $300 from Snap-on. But hey, Snap-on's got good shit. You just pay for it. The old saying goes, you get what you pay for. Okay, so something like that. Now what we're going to do is I'll bring it down just a little bit. Bring it down to two. Like I need to be somewhere in these settings between 2 and 3, and it's just not there. Right now it looks a little bit ugly. Pretty good. Stop right here. So what we'll do now, we're just going to breeze over it with a grinder, see where we're really at. And then we're going to have to punch a hole, my brackets over the hole there. So I'm just going to have to drill a little hole in there so that piece of trim can go back down there. That's a whole lot of work for something you don't really see. But I'll give you guys a little bit of an idea what we got going on here. Alright. So there's our thing now. Now it's not done. I haven't fully dressed it yet. I haven't made it look perfect yet. But that gives you an idea what's going on. Now I'll back you up. And then we'll zoom you back in. Alright. Well, I just think I gotta do this on the other side. How am I playing? I'm getting kind of shit. Alright. But you'll notice now, it's not splitting no more. Alright? Not like that side. That's what we want. So, there you have it. There's tonight's little video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all have a goody. And thanks for watching. Now how do you shut these sons of bitches off? We're going to shut the Facebook off first. Zoom. There we go. Whoop. Off. Later. Bye. And YouTube. Alright, you guys have a goody. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we can get some more content like this for you guys soon. Now, how do you shut this son of a bitch off? I don't know how to shut this one off. Son of a bitch. Oh, there we go. Hit the X, I guess. All right, off. You want to stop streaming? Okay.